Funny Elon should mention that. Ultimately, the downfall of the Freemasons was giving away their stone cutting services for nothing. And I've responded, now we're talking. Funny old one, because I've just been reading comments about a chap has come at Rob Ager, saying this guy's a Freemason, look, he's using black magic, he's giving out hand signals. And it's it's impossible to reason with people like that when they've found someone to blame and then to associate, and as to where it looks like the guy sifted his stuff looking for something that was kind of vague and wishy-washy that he could take apart and say. So he's attempting to cast a spell, a hit piece. From my sort of background on this crazy platform making videos like this, it's I think of those as spiritual attacks. It's this is an intention to smear, degrade, dismiss, even pour scorn on. That's the thing. So I see it all as that when people start jumping on people's videos. But it's you listen to the guy and he's look, this guy's accusing him of being an operator or an agent, member of the Illuminati maybe. And I'm if only he knew what that was. Because he's looking at Rob and he's listening to Rob and he's looked at Rob's stuff and it's well, I watch Rob's stuff. And the question would be, why? And it's well, because Rob sees things differently than I do, but he sees them. So he picks up things I miss out on. So I'm able to enjoy things I enjoy a little bit more by enjoying things he's noticed that maybe I missed. And I find that entertaining. It's great. But it's a matter of his sort of skill set that has him delving deep and looking for his own things he finds. He's not someone who goes along a thing, because I just bang on the same drum all the time. I'm trying to help rebuild the bridge to the Almighty, mate. It's I bang the same drum all the time. He doesn't. And he doesn't let other people's opinions really cloud his judgment. He's not someone who interacts, because if all those guys who talk about movies on the internet, if he made himself just available to all of them to be in their hangouts, every single one of them would have him, wouldn't they? But I think he's got sort of a limited time frame or whatever he does. But he doesn't mix like that. So it's he's not as big as he could be. But he's definitely influenced everyone out there who does video essays on movies on the internet, because he's been around for so long and dominated certain aspects. In the films that he's looked at and the work that he's looked at and the stuff that he's highlighted, there's things in symbolism that even he doesn't get that I think are hilarious. And he moves past them, but he uses that kind of symbolism all the time. And he's looked into the messianic stuff, he's looked into Raiders of the Lost Ark, he knows about psychology, he knows about... Basically, he's in unpicking all this stuff, he's learned a lot of stuff as Rob. It's he is a very deep and multi-dimensional kind of guy. It's yeah, he's absolutely that kind of talent, yeah. When people come along and say, Freemason, it's yeah, well, he's an absolute master of the craft, isn't he? He isn't a Freemason, but he's absolute master of the craft. Yeah, he's a smart guy. It's he's got a mind of his own and his own eye for things, and he doesn't like his ideas being polluted by others, and so he keeps true to his ideas, and it's yeah, fair enough. That's why I find his stuff good. He's doing videos about the black hole that are coming out, and I'm going to go straight to them and buy them as soon as he puts them out. Right, what's he found in this that I've missed? When he gets there and he realises, oh my God, this is as deep an ocean as there can be. This has got everything. It's like, this has got world building, this has got fucking horror, this has got torture, this has got madness, this has got lies, this has got ethics gone to shit, this has got sin, this has got betrayal, this has got all the fuck things. But one or two of the good things as well, but only one or two of them. As to where they made us watch this when we were kids. What were they trying to teach us with this? I want to watch that video and see what he's seen. He said he saw it when I was 8. I saw it when I was 5. It made an impression on me. It's like you go back to that. It's like, well, this was trying to tell you kind of straight up tale, wasn't it, when you're a 5-year-old? I see it flat out a psychological attack by like the established order of justice at the time. Probably something that was inspired by like, I don't know, anti-war crimes types. What? It's like, yeah, it's like if you were like a runaway Nazi concentration camp guard who was a little bit of a cunt and emotionally sensitive when they wheel out all those horrors, make all those kind of references as to evil, genocide. You could have died. You didn't have to play along. You didn't have to become like a robot. You could have died. You didn't have to help him. The choice was there. You could have died. And that be how cruel God is. He'd been like, that's how cruel God is. It's like, yeah, you roast in hell just like he did, because you could have stopped him. Just refused to do it. But no, you all caved in and you were enslaved, were you? There's loads of levels of that film. But say Elon, ultimately the downfall of the Freemasons was giving away their stone cutting services for nothing. Right, if you consider, right, what are the stone cutting services of Freemason? His art, his craft. And it'd be a matter of Freemasonry is like a way of thinking about things, a way of constructing things, as much as anything else. It's a framework, or it fits in nicely, actually, if you start thinking of things in large terms, because you have to remember, with myself, I am technically a hermit. My eye to the world is the internet and what I see out the window. So it's like, I know a lot about the world, and it's like, how do you know a lot about the world? And it's like, because I can imagine it. I've driven all over it. And I know that one place looks much like another because I've been to so many places. So when something new comes along, I know it comes along everywhere. You know, there's certain insights I get from being able to think of things that are really, really, really big, and them have a holistic understanding holding them together. So it's like I have a very large and all-encompassing holistic vision or version of the world in my head. But I don't have to ever really leave this room in order to use it. And I ain't psychic. And knowing I'm not psychic is why I have a lot of power over people who think I might be, or think they are. So it's like, as a dangerous sort of imaginative sort of thinker, it's like I'm one of the most dangerous storytellers in the world. If given audience. And it's like Freemasons. Someone goes looking at Rob, finds someone who's I look at and I say, yeah, he's got absolutely all the skills he's required. What's Rob doing at the moment? Stone cutting. What? Well, he's used his Freemasonic box of tricks to earn himself a wage on the internet. And he's charging £2 a video. So maybe in some ways, Rob is a Freemason who isn't giving his stone cutting services away for nothing. And I'm a Freemason who gives their stone cutting services away for nothing, who really ought not to be talking to people in public. It's like, if you want to know something about this, how this has ended up, this whole, the Freemason story, if you want the Freemason story, it's like at this stage of the game, it's like I've deleted a lot of my old videos. It's like, if you want the Freemason story, I'll sell it to you, or I'll tell it to you, but I'll sell it to you. Because, as I put it, it's like I am a dangerous storyteller when it comes to it, and it's a matter of to start to talk about what I've learned from what they left behind. Now, that's something I should talk about, but certainly not something I should tell everybody or give away. See, I can do the trick with a magic ball. I know something you don't, but it's a matter of, I know something that most people don't know about the Freemasons. And that they've got, and that actually the amount of power as an organisation with the kind of influence they're supposed to have, you wouldn't believe how quickly it was diminished into nothing, like completely gone from this world, having had a hand in most events in all of development history. And it'd be not so much an organisation as a brotherhood of people who know something. And they know something. What do they know? They know God's nature. They get it. And they find each other. But the actual organisation that used to give them a home and a structure has long since been destroyed. Kind of your intellectual dark web was an attempt to rebuild it, but they did it in public, so it wasn't so great, I think. But it's like a forum as to where people could, really spill the beans on what's, one or two of the bigger hilarities of the world, as to where there are those in the world who believe that the Freemasons have power, and it's like the Freemasons' teachings have power, but there are no Freemasons. But their teachings are everywhere and get rediscovered. People realise that the language that they were communicating in wasn't written and could be observed over a long enough period of time. All you had to do was fucking listen and keep your wits about yourself. It's like the last vestiges of their power, right, lie within a few individuals. And when the few individuals have gone, there'll be nothing left of them. And all there'll be is a name or a boogeyman or a brand from the past, much like they are now, that's attributed with lots of blame for lots of wrongdoing. An imagined enemy. But saying that, I'd say that I'm like the last piece of it. And I am like the most dangerous storyteller in the world.